Hello and welcome back to Scholastically Natalie, where we talk about books, writing, reading, D&D, and sometimes other things. Today I figured we could continue working on the Unrelenting Dawn, as I am in a mood to write, even though I am kind of tired. I actually started recording this video, and then because we had been fiddling around on Discord with some of my friends, I had to readjust my microphone settings. So let's hope this one actually does record for me, or else I'll be quite sad. Sorry for yet another late post, because I am garbage at keeping track of things, and my friends and I have been working on a project, and it's just kind of, made it impossible for me to focus on anything else. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll film a video after we get done with this, and it's 3 in the morning, and, I have to go to bed. So, my apologies for that, friends. I made some adjustments. I swapped the word street for way. I'll point them out to you as we go. The alley was small and only stretched behind that strip of shops, continuing to the left, the direction of the barracks, behind only the post office, the cobblers, the leatherworkers, and the jewelers. In this sentence, I swapped to "this is" for "the alley" and "that strip," because I don't like using "this" in a third-person perspective. It makes it a little bit more first-person than I want it to be. Beyond that, he would have to either make his way down several long stretches of open street, or try to navigate the banking guild that took up the rest of the way. Kyne had never been in the bank, and from what he heard, didn't want to ever set foot in it. Those who worked there seemed to take almost excessive glee in the traps they set up for any foolish enough to try to rob them. In fact, they had hired one of the best artificers on the continent to help set everything up. The young dwarf was smart enough to know when he was beat. The building may last through a dragon attack, but it would probably kill him more quickly and with less chance of escape. Kyne began to move down the alley, skirting chunks of masonry and trash that workers had left behind. He really didn't need to kick someone's potion vial. That would bring the dragons right to him, and as much as he might have complained at the tavern, he didn't actually want a dragon to end his misery. He paused behind the door to the leatherworkers, wondering if he should grab the set of armor he had always admired through the window. His hand had only brushed the brass knob before he shook himself. Even if the building wasn't collapsed or structurally unsound, or the new nesting location of a dragon, it was only hide armor. What protection could it offer from the lightning the dragons spewed from their maws, or from the claws that could crush buildings? Once he reached the entryway to the street, Kyne paused and looked from side to side, sweeping for items or people that would give him away. To the south was an overturned hand-carved vials of perfume smashed on the cobblestones, hundreds of conflicting scents hanging in the air, blown every which way by the wind. He could only just pick them up, but in a few minutes he was sure they'd be suffocating the surrounding area. Peeking out from behind the wheel was what looked like a glove that someone might have dropped in their panic, until he noticed the red stain beyond it creeping through the troughs of the road. To the north was the mouth of the main street, torn banners and flags scattered across the road, rended from their positions by the force of mighty wings. He could already see a massive burn across the plaster front of a cutesy cafe he had taken Myra to last year. It was a scar dug several inches deep from the sheer force of the attack. In the center lay exposed the bones and sinew of the building, scorched bricks and ashy beams. The window above it had a planter attached to the wrought iron balcony, and somehow it had escaped the wrath of what seemed to be heaven itself, while its owner did not. The cheerful pink and yellow flowers almost disguised the slumped and concaved head of their owner, body splayed on the white tiles, slowly turning pink from the red sludge that still seeped from their broken skull. He was almost transfixed, moving several steps closer to the grisly sight, stomach churning even as he grew close enough to spy the barricaded door at the front. It was held closed by stacked tables and sideways chairs, so the bell dangling from the door handle was already enough to dissuade him. He wrenched his eyes away from the steadily growing puddle on the balcony, threatening to creep over the ledge and drip onto the street, instead looking for the quickest route down the main street. Many of the doors were either barricaded with whatever the occupants could get their hands on or forced closed by some sort of destruction on the outside. A particularly unlucky flower shop a few doors down had the sprawling balcony above bent and twisted until it pressed up against the first floor entryway. It looked like something massive had tried to sit on the railing and instead bent it into a steep arch. Scattered around it were the shards of broken pottery, clumps of dirt and red-tinged mud, along with the crumpled and ripped blossoms of the amaranth they had been selling. Some had been ground to a purple paste that smeared across the cobblestones, as if a great crowd had borne over them. The main street was full of devastation as far as the eye could see. Flags tangled around and crushed under the elegant masonry that had been commissioned from the guild only last year. The swooping arches and wave-like ribbons of marble that had danced across the rooftops had been transformed into deadly rain for the civilians below. Gravel spawned from marble dropped on just the right angle coated the street. It was doubtful Kine would be able to find a path to avoid it. Luckily, it wasn't so thick that it would immediately alert anything, but it wasn't so light that it couldn't trip him up. Okay. I do really like that description. I'm quite pleased with this. Sorry, I need a little drink. So we have set the lay of the land. We have to creep our way down this main street on top of chunks of stone. Hunching his back, the move of prey avoiding predator. Kine started to scramble further down the street. With every step, he moved further and further away from the relative safety of the enclosed alleyway to the exposed and open main road. He felt as if every nerve of his body was tensed, waiting to feel a hungry gaze upon his back. A dragon could fly over at any moment and see him, an insignificant but tasty ant, scrambling amongst the wreckage it had created. Yes, we want and, not and. Thank you. No, I like my mildly improperly typed thing. Okay, so then I think I've hinted so much at something flying over that we should have it approach from behind just to get a little bit of something new there. And it's not like it would be able to creep up on him, considering it's really frickin' heavy, and dragons are having fun hunting people down. Sneak attacks take away from that thrill of the chase. So I think that is what I'm gonna do. lost in the contemplation of his demise, despite anxieties racking every square inch of his body, Kine managed to kick a rock. It was more of a pebble, he thought, watching it fly towards the side of an upturned metal cauldron. It used to hold lemonade. One of the witches thinking it quite funny to brew it like that. Only to serve it. To serve from it. All of its contents had vanished one way or another, and now it was primed to be the perfect gong. If he ran now, would he be able to make it to shelter? Casting his head around, he was only able to find second-story windows that could make for adequate entry. Too much glass and other barriers to enter from the first story. To enter from the ground floor. He didn't have a way to raise himself to 3 times his height. So he cast about for something else to hide him. As the rock landed with a resounding metal clang. What do I want him to hide behind? It should be in, not just behind. There we go. His desperate gaze landed on an overturned cart. He sprinted over footsteps. This wasn't a peddler's cart. No, he couldn't be that lucky. Instead, it was the flower shop's cart, thrown clear to the other side of the street. It had somehow survived with 3 sides intact. Kine was, in that moment, grateful for not being fully grown. This way he could fit in what was essentially a box on wheels, big enough to fit a large pot in and nothing else. He crawled inside, scraping his hands on the rough gravel that met them, wincing but biting his lip as he curled into a ball. Not a moment later, he thought he felt vibration. Looking at the ground in front of him, those same stone chips that had before betrayed him now betrayed his pursuer. Did I spell that right? I did not. I can never spell pursuer correctly. With each thunderous step closer, the ground trembled. Pebbles rattling and jumping with each heavy thud. It grew as the dragon approached, before Kine felt as though his very spine, let's see, thesaurus. I need another word for vibrating. Well, I guess I can do rattling. It's pretty much the same thing. Well, that's not what I wanted. The movement. Trembling's not bad. That's rattling. His very teeth. His teeth trembling. for long. Loud huffs could be heard, Nick, as the dragon puffed air in and out of its massive muzzle, searching for his scent. Took 2 further steps into the main street before the winds began to change. Picking up speed. Okay. I'm really not sure how to describe the scent moving right now, so I think we will leave it here with these additional paragraphs. I'm pretty happy with them. Let me know what you think. Thanks for writing alongside me for a bit. I've been wanting to work on this more, so I hope this was a relatively nice video for you. In terms of exciting news that I can share, I went to Aldi's, and I indeed purchased some of their Aldi's merch that they have come out with, and I got a pair of slides, because my old ones got kind of gross, so I had to toss them. So now I have some new Aldi slides that I can wear out when I need to. I feel very silly saying that. However, they did not have my snacks that I always go there to buy, so I'll have to go to a different Aldi's to obtain some, which is kind of disappointing. Either way, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was at the very least mildly nice background noise. Let me know what kind of video you would like to see in the future, whether it's more H.P. Lovecraft, more into the Land of the Unicorns, more Candide, journals, Inktober, whatever you're in the mood for, I'd love to hear about it. I'm a relatively chill person, so I'd love to have more input from you guys. And with that being said, Scholastically Natalie is